Good morning, everyone, and welcome, and thank you for joining us for another ISM Lunch and Learn webinar series. Today, we're excited to finally present Sage AP Automation for the Sage 100C line. With us today is Tiffany with Beanworks, who is the Sage endorsed partner for this new product. We're going to be taking a look at it in depth, and she will also open up for questions at the end. I will be keeping the phones muted during the presentation so that we can prevent any background noise and we can allow the presenter to go through. If you have any questions that may come up during the presentation, please feel free to use the question pane or the chat window, and we will address those at the end. So with that, I'm going to turn everything over to Ms. Tiffany Campbell. Tiffany, thank you and welcome.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So again, my name is Tiffany Campbell. I'm the Director of Strategic Partners here at Beanworks. My job is to manage the relations with Sage. So basically what Sage did was decided that they wanted to go out, do some research amongst their install base and figure out what is a solution that that their customers could benefit from. So based off of that research, they figured out that the #1 user requested add-on was AP automation. So as you guys know, you are obviously using a Sage ERP, and it's not just limited to Sage, but basically ERPs across the board. They automate accounting, yes, but when it comes to AP, there's still a lot of manual work. So a lot of people still had pain points there and some heartache there. So they decided what they wanted to do was go find a solution that eliminated all of the repetitive tasks within AP. They wanted to be able to provide real-time financial data to the company as a whole, and then also offer a PO to payment solution. So instead of having to go out and look for multiple modules, you have one that does, or multiple solutions, you have one solution that provides all of that for you. So they found that within Sage APA, or at the time was Beanworks, and then was relabeled as Sage AP Automation. So what makes Sage AP Automation different than other solutions out there? I think the first, and I have a list here, but the first thing I want to mention is the product itself. Sage wanted to make it very easy for their customers to be able to attain and to be able to use the solution. So it is a free product to anyone using subscription or C-Series. So it works with all of the Sage ERPs, and I'll talk about the integrations in a minute here. But basically, they wanted to provide it as a free service. So when you purchase or when you raise your hand and say, this is something I want, it's free implementation, installation, and training. So basically, it's like us handing you a car or Sage handing you a car and saying, okay, all you have to do is pay for the gas. Same here. So you're provided the software and all you have to do is pay for what you use. And the way it's based, or the way the pricing is structured, is based off of the number of invoices that are processed and completed through the system. So in regards to, we get a lot of questions saying, we have 4 or 5 people in AP, and then outside of AP, we have probably another 5 or 6 that are approvers. Do they all have to have licenses? No. With our solution, it's unlimited seats. So it doesn't matter how many people are in AP. There could be 1, there could be 5, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter how many approvers are within the organization. All of them have access to Sage APA. So then that brings us to the pay for what you use. Again, it's based off of the number of invoices that are processed through the system. Another thing I want to mention is that because it is a cloud-based solution and because we are partnered with Sage, so we have bi-directional seamless integrations with all of their ERPs, you can be up and running as quickly as 24 hours. Now, 24 hours to me, as someone who manages the sales team, it's nice to say that, but realistically, I like to say 1 to 2 weeks. And the reason why I say that, and I'll go into more detail as we're in the presentation today, is because every company has a different workflow. And we set that up and we configure the workflow to match your needs. So, and we'll provide best practices at the time too, but everybody's implementation is going to be a little different. So technically you can, and literally it's the word technical, technically you can be up and running within 24 hours. But when it comes to defining your workflow, a lot of people think, oh, I know what it is, until it comes to the time where they have to define it. Or when they do define it, they realize, oh, we want to simplify it. So always give the implementation team about 1 to 2 weeks to get you guys up and running. And then the last point here was completely our flexible setup fees. Really, there are no setup fees, so it's so flexible. So those are the benefits of, or what makes us different than other AP solutions out there. And as I mentioned, we do integrate with all of the Sage ERPs. So we have a bidirectional integration with 50, 100, 300, and 500. So where Excel is the essential tool for accountants, we kind of look at Sage APA as the essential tool for the accounting team. We want to automate and simplify the entire team's workflow. So obviously automation is here, and we're transforming accounts payable. And I'm going to talk about 5 ways we do that, or 5 ways we can benefit, or your company can benefit by us helping you with that. And the first way is automating invoice capture and eliminating data entry. Most people do not join AP or become an accountant to sit and do data entry all day. That's probably their least favorite task throughout the day. So what we want to do is help automate that. So we're going to sit with you and figure out, how are your invoices coming in? Are they coming in via mail, email, fax? Regardless of how they're coming in, we'll work with you to automate that and and to bring them into our system. So this right here is just a quick screenshot, and in a moment I'll actually jump into the product and give you a little bit more detail. But here's a screenshot of an invoice that is being captured. Over here to the left, these are all of the fields that we're capturing on that invoice. So we're going to store that information. Not only are we storing the data in our system and in Sage, but also we're going to store the image in our solution as well. So people ask, okay, how is this being captured? Well, what we do, it's a combination of technology and human intervention. And the reason we have that human portion is because we have a 99.9% guarantee rate where, we want you to be able to rely that once we get your invoices, the information is going to be accurate. And unfortunately, with technology right now, with OCR, typically it's about 65 to 70% accurate. So it's not magic. So we want to provide that magical or delightful experience. So we have people in the background who look at it and oversee it. Again, that's no additional cost to you. That's something that we do as a service. So we're going to bring all of your invoices into the system. Now, once we bring the invoices into the system, we know that they don't just sit on one person's desk. Usually they move throughout the organization. So we, again, want to figure out what your workflow is and then automate all of those steps. But in addition to being flexible and scalable with your workflow, we also are for really as your company as a whole. So if you're a multi-currency, if you're using multiple companies within your ERP, or even if you have multiple accounting systems, this came up twice today on previous calls that I've had, where they were using, Sage and maybe other solution, or they were using Sage 50 and 100 or 100 and 300, or maybe they had 3 different instances of 100. So it doesn't matter. And again, this doesn't even affect the cost of the solution. You can have one dashboard that's connected to, 4 accounting systems, and all of those accounting systems have multiple users. You're not paying any more for the solution. It's that you're paying just based off of the invoices that are processed through. So multi-currency, multi-company, and accounting systems, and again, workflow. So when you log into the system, you're able to see right away, the companies that you have access to, and then all of the users and what they're doing within the system. And then again, with the workflow, this is your traditional workflow where you have purchase orders, invoices, and payments. These are 3 different modules inside of our application. The purchase orders have its own workflow that can be tied to invoice workflow. Invoice has its own workflow and payments has its own workflow as well. All of them can be tied together. So let's say we talk to a lot of companies that use POs. So maybe the business rule says if the invoice comes in, it matches the PO, it automatically then goes to payments. It doesn't need to go through an approver. Perfect. We can set that up. Maybe you're a company that doesn't use POs. So an invoice comes in, maybe one of your business rules says, if it's over $25,000, we want to route it to the CFO for approval. Great, we can set that up. So you define your business criteria, and it doesn't just have to be one rule. We can look at the invoice as long as we're capturing the data. You determine what those thresholds are or what that criteria is, and we'll set up that workflow. And it can go to multiple people as well and parallel paths. Then that takes us to payments. We handle payments as well. Payments can be set up on workflows as well. It can go through, someone has to approve it, then it goes to this person to actually get it to pay it. So all of this is completely configurable based off of your company's needs. The way we create these workflows, we have an application or screen within our solution that you go in and set up your workflow. Part of the implementation, installation, and training is we'll sit with you, define what your workflows are, and we'll train you on how to set them up. Obviously, we know processes change, workflow change. So we're going to set it up for you, but we're going to train you on how to use it and how to modify it, because maybe 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years down the road, management changes or philosophies change, or just someone is no longer within the organization. You're going to need to be able to have access to go in and modify it. So we train you on how to do that. And even after we're done with the implementation, you decide, oh, I want to create a new workflow, you'll have that capability within the system. And again, this is something that we're going to empower you with. If it's something you don't have the resources for, you can always feel free to give us a call and we'll set up those workflows for you. So part of the workflow process is approvals. We know that invoices don't just come in and sit on someone's desk, and we know that usually they have to go to multiple people to be approved, and not everybody's sitting at their desk all day long waiting for those. So we want to make it very easy for people to be able to approve an invoice. So it doesn't matter where you're at. You can receive an email that says you have an invoice to approve. You can go in and approve it or deny it from basically anywhere. We do the same thing for payments as well. This is one of the things our CEO absolutely is in love with. And our company is a little different than most AP or automation solutions, whereas our CEO or our founder, she is an accountant. So she worked with our founders. They are all accountants. They were looking to create a solution for accountants built by accountants. So they definitely know what accountants want, what they need, and they're always trying to simplify or better our solution to help simplify the accounting process. So one of the things that they wanted to be able to do was make payments from anywhere you're at. She loves that she's on a plane, she can go in, click, and pay an invoice right then and there. We offer several different ways you can go about making payments. One way is VCC, virtual credit card. This gives you the ability to earn 1% cash back. And where AP is traditionally not a revenue generating department, with Sage APA and using VCC, we give you the ability to be. Maybe it's not a lot of revenue, but it's some. We also know not everybody is going to start off with VCC. If you decide to, we walk you through that entire process. We help you set up all your vendors, get all of that going, and that's something that we will discuss later in the conversation as well. But if you decide, you know what, we want to stick with ACH or EFT or automated checks, wire transfer, really the choice is yours. You can basically do whatever you're doing right now with our solution as well. Our goal is just to help automate it or streamline it and simplify it for you. So the last point here is it is a software as a service. So I mentioned, you know, our CEO being an accountant. So every time she sits down and looks at the product, she has little enhancements that she would like to have done. Every time our customers provide us with a request, we make sure it's something that it'll benefit most of our customers, and then we'll go ahead and update and release that to our install base. So the product itself is ever evolving. It's, you know, always improving, and the cool thing is you don't have to wait once every 6 months or once a year to get an update and download it and do all of this stuff. It's just you log in, there it is. We'll train you on the updates or the enhancements that are released, and then you're part of making the product better as well. So really with Sage APA, we're providing you a consolidated PO to payment solution. So what I want to do now, instead of just showing you screenshots, I'm not the most technical person. I'm the director of my team, so I have salespeople and sales engineers. But what I want to do is I want to jump into the product and show you it looks like these screenshots I'm showing you so that you don't think it's just smoke and mirrors. So we'll go through it really quick, or I'll show you what it looks like to log into our solution, and I'll kind of guide you through it. So when you first log into the solution, it's going to give you an overview of all the users for the entire company, regardless of the entities that they're in. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information in my demo database, but you'll see all of the users, what they're doing, where they're stuck, their activity within Sage APA. Now, I also mentioned we provide 3 different modules. So they're color-coded within our system. So we have our purchase orders, we have invoices, and we have payments. So with purchase orders, you have the capability to create purchase orders within our solution, or if you're using purchase orders within Sage, we work with that as well. Because of that seamless integration, if you're using the Sage POs, we can handle that within our system. So here you can see, and again, all 3 modules have its own workflow, so you can see what POs are in progress, which ones are being approved, and which ones are committed, and which ones are closed. Now, same thing with invoices. You can click right here. You can go ahead and see what invoices have been imported in. You can see where they're at in the approval process. And then if you needed to be able to export it, you can do so as well. Then again, payments, it's the same look and feel for all of the modules, where you can see where they're at within their workflow that you create, where, you know, what's been approved, what's been released, and what's been paid. So all of that information is being stored. At any point, if you're being audited and you want to be able to go in and say, okay, I want to look up a particular invoice, you can go in here and they can look it up. When you open up any of the modules, you can see over here to the right, there are different things you have the capability to hover over and view. So if I wanted to see the actual invoice itself, I can click on View Details. It'll show me the invoice, all of the information down here, who approved it, who rejected it, what stage it's at. If I wanted to go in here and see the actions that were done to it, or view only the image, I can do so. And then over here to the far right, my thumbs up, this tells me where it's at in the approval process. So who's supposed to approve it and if they've approved it at the time. Then over here to the right, if it had been paid, you'll see a little $sign next to it. So all of that is viewable within the solution. Now, same thing with the payments. You can go over here to the right. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of data in mine, but all of that information would be able to be viewed within the system. So the product itself is very simple. It's very easy to use, very easy to access. And what we'd like to do is, if you're interested in doing a deeper dive into the solution, we do host webinars every other Thursday. And so right here is the link to our webinar. Or if you're interested in just, talking to one of our account executives, feel free to let ISM know, and they'll get in touch with Brianne or one of our reps. But if you would like to attend one of our webinars, right here is the link. This is being recorded. This information will be shared with you as well. But we do provide, if you can, this link kind of takes you to this site right here, where it shows you all of the webinar times that we have. So right here, I just gave you a quick overview of the different modules. What they're going to do is, it's going to be an implementation specialist, and all of our implementation specialists are ex-accountants as well. So they're there to provide best practices during the implementation and answer any questions that you might have, even on the accounting side, within the webinars. So they'll do a deep dive of this. So right here are times that we have. All you need to do is click on it. It's going to take you to, just register for it. You'll get the confirmation, and it'll be hosted by one of our two implementation managers, whether it be Laura or John. So again, it's a very easy solution. Sage wants to make it very easy for you to use. It's free to install, implement, and be trained on. You only are invoiced once a month once you go live, based off of the invoices that are being processed through the system. That invoice will go through Sage. So if this is something, again, you're interested in, you won't actually purchase it through us. You purchase it through ISM, and they'll purchase it through Sage. So what I want to do now is just open it up to any questions that you guys might have.
Thank you, Tiffany. I'm going to go through right now and open up the lines. I do not see any questions in the question window or the chat, but I am opening lines as we speak. Also, too, if anyone would like to see a deeper demo, you can reach out to us at Account Manager. That's am@goism.com, Account Manager at goism.com, am. And we can schedule a one-on-one demo for you to address your exact needs, count of invoices, get a quote, etc. I do see Wendy has a question. She's asking, is it pricing per invoice? Me? And I apologize. I guess in unblocking the other people, I inadvertently blocked Tiffany. So Tiffany, yes, she's asking if it's pricing per invoice.
It is priced per invoice. It's based off of your number. Okay. Can you guys hear me? There's a lot of background noise.
There is a lot of background noise.
Like I'm screaming.
I'm gonna block a couple people right now that I can see there's movement. So yes, you should be able to speak now.
Okay. So it's based off of buckets. So you'll give us your estimated number that you feel that you will do on an annual basis, and then that's how you'll be priced out. So the buckets range from anywhere between $1.60 an invoice to $1.20, and that's for people using anywhere from 0 to 500. If you're doing thousands of invoices, just contact ISM. We have enterprise pricing that we can work with you to set up.
Wendy says, thank you for that answer. Again, we have had some customers move over to this product. They're very satisfied with the pricing as well as the processing. So,
yeah, we make it very easy to use in regards to setup and the way we price the product. So if you're interested, let us know, let ISM know, and we can get you up and running very quickly. And a lot of times it's just sitting down and doing an analysis of your workflow. So if you want us to do that with you, feel free to contact us as well, or to contact ISM, and the two or one of two of us will be able to assist you to document that and figure out how we can implement something like this to automate it.
Tiffany, she's asking again, just to be clear, we scan in, but your team would then view and verify that the information captured is correct.
That is correct. So you'll either you'll email it or scan it to a particular address or number. Then we'll receive that. That information will then be brought into our system by both technology and human intervention. So we have something called smart coding where, you know, if a particular vendor sends it in, we're going to know that that's the layouts and we'll be able to index most of it. But we always have that human intervention to make sure so we can guarantee that 99.9 accuracy rate.
She said, perfect. Thank you very much.
Good.
I do not see any other questions. I'll give it one more pass. Any other questions for Wendy and her team? One more. If we were utilizing Sage as one entity of a group, is it possible to just roll out Sage AP automation at one location?
That is possible, yes.
Okay, I believe that's all the questions I'm seeing right now. Again, you can always reach out to us at am@goism.com if something comes up. If you have another question, if you'd like to schedule a detailed demo or just more information on the product, we're there for you. So, Tiffany, I would like to thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you doing this demo for us. We look forward to continued business. It's a great product. And for everyone, keep an eye on our ISM webinar calendar. It's at www.goism.com/events, and join us for the rest of our April scheduled programs. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.